DeVone, you were then in a separate organization that had focused on mentoring, but your organization was asked to basically come in and do the landscape scan. And that involved a lot of conversations with people in other cities that were also tackling the same issues, but most importantly, conversations in the community of Richmond. And what I found really interesting was you came away from that picking up some of the elements of things from other cities, but also starting to really reconsider what that framework should look like based on what you were hearing locally. Can you just talk a little bit about what pieces really came clear to you in those conversations that needed to be addressed?
The first thing that I recognized in traveling around the country where some of this work was being done, and also with an experience I was seeing play out in the city of Richmond, was that the very people at the center of firearm activity were not being engaged by anybody. And I just found that to be challenging because my mind kept going, well, if folks are hyper vigilant on engaging the people around the people that are responsible for driving gun violence, but not those who are driving the gun violence, that's very problematic, right? And that had to change. So I have to tell you, Claudia, that for me began this aha. We have to get at the people that are, you know, pulling the triggers. And that's problematic in a variety of ways because these are the individuals that, quite frankly, many systems, particularly the criminal justice system, let me just be plain, I don't know if they're really interested in those people having or being provided an opportunity to change. And I get it. They're trying to put these individuals in jail. Although law enforcement will say and agree they can't arrest their way out of this, and they understand the importance of going a little further upstream, even if it's just a tad bit upstream. They'd rather you not touch the people that they really believe are driving gun violence because they're trying to make cases against those individuals.
I would just say that that insight from DeVone, which is so critical, has been shown in other communities around the country, research and evaluation of, small numbers of people driving the majority of gun violence, whether it's New York, Chicago, Baltimore. It's a manageable problem. It's not everybody who's in a hyper segregated, racially discriminated, entrenched, impoverished neighborhood becomes someone who uses a firearm to resolve conflict. By seeing that these are people that deserve to be engaged, it shifts the conversation to public health, that we can see the humanity in these often young people who are so disconnected, and often many are carrying unaddressed trauma, which is part, not the entire, but part of what's driving their response to conflict and continuing to engage in these rivalries and this retaliatory gun violence.